Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to the channel. So I'm 6 days out from my first ever HYROX event. So in this video I'm going to go through first of all, what exactly is HYROX? How the 8 stations work for a HYROX event? What our personal HYROX game plan will be, because it's going to be a HYROX doubles we're doing. Along with at the end of the video I'll go through essentially what my personal carb up, fuel plan and meal plan will look like coming 2 days out from race day. Quick little backstory. First of all, HYROX in the UAE, it's actually sold out. It's a fully sold out event. But one of my mates who was doing it, he stepped out. So I literally stepped in with 10 days notice. So first of all, I'm not claiming to be any HYROX expert at all. Secondly, I just want to go through essentially how it actually works from start to finish. So first of all, HYROX is a race. Essentially how it works is you've got 8 1-kilometer runs followed by one of these 8 stations. So to start out, you do a 1-kilometer run, then you do 1,000 meters in the ski erg. So the ski erg is this upper body movement. You're pulling it down. It's like a really good form of cardio, especially for your upper body. Then you go back to do a 1-kilometer run followed by a 50-meter sled push. Now the weight you use is different. So for guys it's 152 kilo weighted sled push. For girls it's 102 kilos. Now I just know myself with the sled, it's very, very taxing. It's really demanding on the body. So it is advised, I believe, from some of the HYROX experts that you don't just try push the 50 meters all in one, that you do a bit, you take a rest, you do it again, you take a rest so you don't completely burn yourself out. Then you do another 1-kilometer run. Station 3, it's going to be a 50-meter sled pull this time. So for men, it's going to be 103 kilos, and for women, it's going to be a 78 kilo sled pull. As of now, 6 days out, I actually haven't done this in years. I didn't get a chance to practice it this week. I know this one will be very, very challenging on the upper and the lower body. Then you go back to your 1-kilometer run, followed by probably my biggest bane of all, that is burpee broad jumps, okay, 80-meter burpee broad jumps. These are really, really tough. Personally, what I'm going to be using is the step method, whereby essentially you do the burpee, you do your broad jump, and rather than jumping up from the ground and then, do another broad jump, what's advised is you just step up from the ground and then you jump again, just to, again, not have so much fatigue in your leg because you're only halfway through the race at this stage. After the burpee broad jump, back to your 1-kilometer run, then you do a 1,000 meter row. This will be absolutely fine, I would say, and I really like to push it for that one. You do the 1,000 meter row, back to your 1-kilometer run, followed by kettlebell farmer's carries. So for men, the weight you're going to be using is 2 kettlebells you're going to be holding in your hand. It's going to be 24 kilo weighted kettlebells, and you're going to be doing this for 200 meters in total. For women, it's going to be 2 by 16 kilo kettlebells. Just with this, the advice is just carry them as long as possible. So that's really just going to be a test of your grip and your endurance, your grip strength, more so than anything else, okay? Back to your 1-kilometer run. Second last station is sandbag lunges. For men, it's going to be 30 kilo sandbag lunges for a total distance of 100 meters. And then for women, it's going to be 20 kilos for 100 meters. And then finally, you do your 1-kilometer run, and then you go back to your wall balls for the finish. So it's going to be 100 in total wall balls. For men, it's going to be 6 kilo weighted wall balls, and you must hit the 10-foot target. For women, it's going to be 4 kilo weighted wall balls, and you must hit the 9-foot target. Now, there are certain rules for the 8 stations which you can be penalised with if you're not careful. So I really got to read up in the rule book to make sure that we're doing it right. But essentially, one of them being that with a burpee broad jump here, when you're doing the burpee and you're doing the broad jump, when you get up, you can't just steal a few yards with your feet. Your hands essentially have to be right in front of your feet there, and they can actually dock you points for that. As well as this, when you are doing the weighted sandbag lunges, your knee must touch the floor when you're doing the lunges, or else again you can be docked points. When you're doing the wall balls, you have to squat at or below parallel. So you can't just do a quarter squat and throw it up. That doesn't count. You need to get full range of motion there. So just a few things I need to be mindful of. But that's essentially how the 8 stations work and how the HYROX event came about. Now, personally speaking, so the reason I feel confident doing this is, number one, is that I was still running right up until this point. I was running 40-50 kilometers a week, so the running wouldn't really be an issue for me. However, one thing I'm not really used to is running on compromised legs. So that's what I've been practicing this week. I've been practicing doing runs at the end of my session when I'm fatigued, when I'm getting actually, tired, and I'm lacking that bit of energy. But next up, what I like about HYROX is it's not very technical. Like, this is so accessible to everyone. There's not a whole lot of skill set required to do any of these stations here. Like a skier, a sled push, a sled pull, a burpee broad jump, a row, a farmer's carry, a sandbag lunge, wall balls, and running. Like, once you're mobile, once you're fit, what I really like with this is it's really, really accessible to anyone. So unlike something like maybe CrossFit, where there's more technical lifts like snatches, deadlifts, clean and press and so on, there's no technical lift here. So that's what I really like about it. Now, from a training perspective, what I found the most challenging are definitely the sled push and the burpee bro jump so far. Okay, bear in mind that you're just coming off the back of a run, so like when you've got a lot of lactic acid and fatigue building up in the legs here. Now for my HYROX, first ever HYROX event this coming weekend, it's going to be a HYROX double. So the good news is that essentially me and the guy that I'm doing it with, Harry, we're both going to be doing the 1 kilometer runs. However, we can split this in half if we wish. So for example, I can do a 500 meter ski, then Harry can do the second 500. I can do, 25 meters in the sled. Harry can also do the other 25 meters. So you can actually break this up then, depending on how you're going to work it. So what we're going to do is, I will start out, just because I'm probably a slightly faster runner, so I will start out and do, we'll say, the first half of each of the stations here. That will be our plan anyways. And then as I start to fatigue, and that's when Harry steps in, and then we just take turns doing it. But you can also do HYROX singles where you're essentially doing this all in one. Obviously that's going to be longer because you're doing twice the amount of work. But a big reason I want to do it is because I know it's something that some of our clients are really excited about, or that they would actually like to enter. And for me, it's like, I don't ever want to coach someone on something I've never really experienced or done myself, because there is a big difference between theory and practice. So I'm actually really looking forward to getting some skin in the game. And what I love about these events too is that, when you have a bit of competition in your life, it just gives you something and a goal to work towards. So really excited about it. It actually comes out well timing wise. It'll just be 1 week out there for my photo shoot afterwards, which I'll go through in a separate video. Now, finally what I want to speak about is the carb up, the meal plan or the meal prep, which I will actually showcase at the end of this video. But essentially what my carb up meal plan or meal prep strategy is going to be is that I'm going to have anywhere from 6 to 10 grams of carbohydrates per kilo of body weight. So for me, I'm about 80 odd kilos at the moment, and I'm going to go in the higher end, and I'm going to go 80 kilos times 10. That's going to be 800 grams of carbohydrates. So the event is on Saturday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have roughly 400 grams of carbs on Thursday, 400 grams on Friday. So my glycogen stores are fully filled. Okay, this event will last roughly probably 60 to 75 minutes, but it's going to be full on from the start. Okay, there's no lounging around here. You're really going at quite an intense pace. So therefore my body will need carbohydrates to keep me fueled. So I'm going to start off my carb up meal plan or meal prep on Thursday, which I'll showcase in this video, and Friday. So I'm fully topped up and ready to go. Apart from that, then just making sure to get electrolytes, to get water, I'm hydrated, caffeinated going in, and that I'm well rested. So essentially now I'm only 6 days out. I'm just going to taper down my training slightly, get used to some of these stations, and let's see what Saturday brings. Right guys, best part about HYROX, that is the carb load leading up to it. For anyone who doesn't know, a carb load is where you essentially increase your carbohydrates, usually 48 to 72 hours before a big event, so your muscle, your glycogen stores, your carbohydrates, your energy stores are full, and you're able to perform to your utmost potential. So here essentially, this is going to be what I'm going to be having on Thursday and Friday, and the event is going to be on Saturday. Now I also have it loaded up here in my fitness pal, but essentially meal number one, I'm going to do this pre-workout. So I'll do a light workout on Thursday, 2 days before the event, just going to be a full body workout, predominantly upper body. It's 100 grams of cream of rice, which is rice flour. I'm going to have this at 1 banana, and then there's also 1 scoop of our nicest protein powder in the planet, that is Sunwarrior vegan protein. Okay, post workout then we have got a hell of a meal. So this is 100 grams of oats divided into 2 bowls. Okay, so 100 grams of oats, again another 1 scoop of Sunwarrior protein, and I will also put in some blueberries on top there. Okay, then meal number 3, this is going to be later on today, and this is 300 grams of white potato, absolutely favourite, unbelievable, with about 200 grams of chicken and just 50 grams of broccoli. Okay, I'll go through the reason why behind these foods in a moment. Meal number 4 and number 5, it's going to be a combined total of 125 grams of white rice, and then in this one here we have about 150 grams of salmon. This one here we've got 150 grams roughly of sea bass, and then about 50 grams of green beans. Okay, as well, little sneak treat. Okay, one of my favourite things is rice cakes. Some people think that rice cakes are very plain, very bland. I'm going to have a full pack of rice cakes, this is 130 grams. So actually in this entire rice cakes, there's like maybe 500 odd calories. But how I have this is, I get a protein shake, right? I pour in water into the protein shake, mix it up, break up the rice cake, put it into a bowl, and it almost tastes like cereal. Absolutely unbelievable. Give this a go, really enjoyable. So I'm always going to have 130 grams of rice cakes. So all in all, these, so meal number 1, cream of rice. Meal number 2, the oats. Meal number 3, the potatoes and the chicken. Meal number 4 is the white rice and the sea bass. Meal number 5 is the salmon and the salmon and the white rice. Okay, all of this combined, this contains a total of, I believe, 3,500 calories. Yeah, 3,500 calories Protein is a little high, 236 grams of protein, 608 grams of carbs though, perfect, okay? And I'm gonna be having this Thursday and again on Friday. Fiber is a bit low and then fats are quite low as well. So some keys with a carb loader, number one is that the carb source you use, ideally want them lower in fiber. So that's why I'm having a lot of white rice, and also rice cakes. The reason being is because they've got very, very low fiber, and fiber is one of those foods that can take a bit longer to digest and can just take up a bit too much space in your stomach. That is also why I have very, very minimal veg here, 50 grams of green beans, 50 grams of green beans, 50 grams of broccoli. Not much at all. If I'm in a cutting phase, that could be 300 grams per meal, okay? Then I do have some oats. Oats are higher fiber. I just freaking love oats, that's why I'm having them. And then potatoes are kind of a source of fiber too, but again, I just really enjoy potatoes, but not too many. 300 grams is fine. And then cream of rice here. This is again a very, very low form of fiber food. So essentially it's rice just blended up in terms of flour, okay? Protein intake could be a little lower, I would say. It's just coming from the fact that I'm having 3 scoops of Sun Warrior, 2 in the oats and then 1 in the rice cakes also. Now I usually have eggs and I usually have like more dietary fat like nuts and avocado and so on, but because I'm having so many carbs, I'm not going to be having those for my carb load, because the idea with a carb load is that you increase your carbohydrates, but then something has to give, okay? So I don't want to gain a whole lot of body fat, not that it would happen over 2 days, but I will reduce my dietary fat. That way then that I can essentially just maximize my carbohydrate stores and not, you know, unnecessarily increase my calories. Other things to be mindful of with carb load is, okay, as I already mentioned in the first part of the video, the recommendation is 6 to 10 up to 6 to 12 grams per kilo of body weight. So for me, I'm about 80 kilos at the moment, which means that on the higher end, that's going to be over 1,000 grams of carbs. Now I tested this before. I did a half marathon 2 months ago. I had 1,500 grams of carbs over 2 days, and I slightly spilled over. So I can just tell too many carbohydrates and I was almost too full. So this way, 600 grams, that'll be absolutely perfect for me over the 2 days. I know I'll be able to digest that, no problem at all. So that's why when you're doing a carb load, it's always good to test it out beforehand, especially if you're doing something like a photo shoot, or if you're doing, you know, competing or stepping up on stage. That's when you don't want to get to a point where you spill over and you actually consume too much and you look bloated. But for me, 600 grams Thursday, 600 grams Friday, breakfast pre-HYROX, it's going to be 100 grams of oats, it's going to be a banana and a scoop of Sun Warrior protein, along with just water, electrolytes throughout the day, all right? But that is all for the carb up, the meal prep here. I'm really excited about it and I'm just looking forward to the challenge. And here is just our carb load meal plan. So essentially we've got 100 grams of oats here with some berries. We have 100 grams of cream of rice. We've got 200 grams of cooked rice here with some sea bass, some chicken, and also some salmon thrown in there, along with a small serving of veggies. And then we also have our rice cakes. Hey guys, what is up? Race day is finally here. I cannot wait for this. So first ever HYROX coming up. It is currently 5:40 a.m. in the morning. We're not due to start till about 8 a.m. Now it is about a 45 minute drive, so I'm going to get down there early, get warmed up. I'm going to get some breakfast now. So breakfast is going to be 100 grams of cream of rice, 1 banana, and then also as well I'm going to be snacking in between before the race and just some rice cakes, some banana, and also some honey on top. This is the best ever carb load I've done to date. So I've had 1,200 grams of carbs and I did not spill over. Before my half marathon, I had 1,500 grams and I spilled over. When you spill over, essentially that means that you consume more carbohydrates than your body can store. And I just knew myself from my look, I was a bit too bloated, I was a bit too full. But this morning, absolutely perfect, feeling really good, feeling really energized. So I'm ready to get after it now. Gonna grab some breakfast and then get down to the expo centre. And race day breakfast. So this is 100 grams of cream of rice, 1 banana with some cinnamon on top, and 1 scoop of protein powder. Absolutely perfect breakfast here. This is over 100 grams of carbohydrates, easy to digest too, and tastes absolutely delicious.
Let's go. Let's go. Yes. You should join us. We're going to do
Alright, we have arrived. First ever HYROX. We are 20 minutes out from start time. So as you can see, a lot of people here just about to get warmed up now. Final coffee before we go, and let's just enjoy it.
back. You can go and see how the DJ is doing a wonderful job. And he is going, whoa, 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 with that music. Bring it in, guys, bring it in.
Is this recording now? Is this recording? Yeah? First ever HYROX. Yeah. How'd you find it?
Fucking hard, but so rewarding. You feel unbelievable afterwards, don't you?
100%. So good. What do you find the hardest station about?
I think the lunges, but once you get into it, you just power through. Yeah. So I think a lot of it is just upstairs.
100%. Yeah, I'd say for me the burpee broad jumps. I struggle with them, but they're good. If I say to anyone to do it, what advice would you give to someone?
Train harder than I did.
I would say don't go out too fast in the first one and finish stronger in the second four than you do in the first four stations. But we finished in about 107.21. So not too bad for first timers. We'll get better the next one.
Yeah, we'll do some power next.
Yeah, some power. That was just a warm up.
All right, guys, HYROX debrief. So first of all, what a phenomenal event. I'm so glad that I did it. I know, so I only entered this on 10 days notice. So to be fair, I only had 1 week of training. I essentially deloaded the last 2 or 3 days, but phenomenal event. Hats off to HYROX, first of all. I'm a big fan of it now, haven't done it. What I like about it is it's very accessible to everyone. Like, once you're able to run, okay, none of the lifts are very technical. None of the stations are very technical. Like, anyone can do it. So that was phenomenal. So my overall experience, so first of all today, absolutely loved every bit of it. What I would say, just some tips actually before I go into how the race went. So first of all, get down there early, okay? Whatever time you're racing at, if you're doing a HYROX, get there at least 2 hours beforehand. Honestly, registration, there should be more people working. It took like 30 to 45 minutes to do this. And then if you want to use the bathroom with queues and all that, that can take an extra 10 or 15 minutes. So make sure you get there early so you're not stressing. You've got enough time to warm up and to be fully prepared mentally, physically, everything, okay? But then the race itself, so it was HYROX doubles that we obviously did, Harry and I. And fair play to Harry that he actually did the race, because he hasn't ran once really in the last like 2 months or so. He's coming off the back of a knee injury. So he found the running quite difficult, if I'm being honest. I could have gone faster with the running, but one rule at HYROX doubles is that you obviously have to do all the 8 of the 8 stations with your partner. But hats off to Harry for doing it. He did a freaking phenomenal job, and well done to him. So that was awesome. So overall debrief, the running I found the easiest of it all, because you kind of, the first 200 meters after an aid station, your legs are a bit tired and a bit fatigued, so I wouldn't sprint into it. But with that being said, it's like you just build up to your run and you can build up your pace in, and like it's much easier mentally to do these kind of runs. So in this event today, it was just you do 2 laps of the event, and then that's your 1 kilometer. So each lap is 500 meters, so it's perfect. It's like you're just doing 2 laps every time, so it's very easy to do mentally from that standpoint. Now, I'll go through the different aid stations. So first of all, starting out, what I would not recommend, we didn't do today, is like, don't sprint off the blocks. Your adrenaline's going to be high, you're in a tunnel, they're counting down how long you're going to be doing it for. Don't sprint off the blocks, ease into it. Skier, so found that quite good. Just tip there be that you hinge at your hips, you try to get your hamstrings to do more of the work, your upper body, and save your quads. For the sled push, very easy. Like, it was just 50 meters, we just said 25, 12.5 times 2 each. Absolutely, simple. Sled pull, again, very easy in my opinion. 103 kilos, 50 meters, so we did 12 and a half each, 2 sets each, okay? Burpee broad jump, that was without a doubt the hardest. So Harry and I, the way we broke it up is, we did 6 to 8 reps each, and then we just swapped it over. So it was one rested, the other jumped, and vice versa. That was without a doubt the hardest one. Now, that was when I really started sweating for the first time properly. And after I had did the burpees broad jump today, I took an energy gel because I needed it at that stage, and mentally it gave me a good quick or kick, should I say, to get going again. Number 5 was a row, 1,000 meter row, very, very simple in my opinion. No bother at all. Just tip there, try to get your upper body do more of the work. Don't let your heels come off. So you're saving some of your quads and you're doing more of your upper body. For the farmer's carry, again, simple. Like you're just running with 2 24 kilo kettlebells. It's more so a grip strength than anything else, but I found that very, very manageable, no bother at all. Now, sandbag lunges were tough. So the way Harry and I broke it up is that I started out, I did kind of the first lane and a half, Harry did the next lane and a half, and I did the final lane there. Now that is tough, going from the sandbag lunges into a run again, okay? That's when your legs start to really feel the burn, okay? And you're pushing it there. But they felt actually pretty good still, but they were the second hardest station in my opinion. And the final one is the wall ball. So 100 wall balls with a 6 kilo weight, up to a 10-foot target. So with the wall balls, I found them, they were tough. They were tough. So we did 2 sets of 25. So 25, just when you're doing the wall balls, you just need to focus. That's the most important thing. Like the temptation is just go as fast as you can, but they can penalize you if you don't hit the target or if you don't squat to parallel. So just focus, get into a rhythm and get used to doing them. And overall, they were tough, but they were, you know, when you're at the end, you can really push it. So look, overall, my first ever HYROX experience, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Like, I was just really present today looking around, and there's a great atmosphere there. Good buzz, good community, great people there, and just a very, very well organised event. So if you're watching this now and you haven't done a HYROX and maybe you're considering it, say yes first, figure it out later. Book the ticket, book the race, just do it now, and you'll find a way to train for it. Okay, that's what I did with the marathon, the Dublin Marathon. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do it, but I booked it, and then once you book it, it's like a commitment, it's an investment, and then you know you must do it. So I'd highly recommend anyone. The most important thing with HYROX, though, just to wrap this up, is without a doubt running. Like, if you're able to run, okay, and then you very, very little HYROX training, you could still do fairly okay if you're decent level of strength. But if you're very strong and you don't have any cardio at all, you would actually struggle with this today, because 60% of it is going to be the run. The run is really what's going to tie you over, make or break you. So if you're a good runner, okay, you've already more than half the work done. You just need to improve your strength. So for me, I'm not claiming to be a HYROX expert, but I've signed up for the next HYROX singles, which is 3 months away, and I'll make sure I'll do more training and more volume for that. But with this now, it's like I'll keep the running going. I'll make sure that I get more volume in with the run and just a bit more specific work with the HYROX. But overall, 10 out of 10 experience. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The carb up, by the way, which you saw, it worked an absolute treat. It works an absolute treat. Like, I had so much energy today. I actually don't know myself, because I've been on a cut for the last while. So when you're depleted, you kind of think that that's the norm, that like it's normal just to have your legs feel tired, your upper body feel tired. Today, I did not know myself, because I had no fatigue. Everything was just fine. I felt really good and ready to perform. So honestly, amazing experience with HYROX. Would highly recommend it. And I'm going to be doing one more and potentially more after this, but very, very enjoyable experience. That's my overall breakdown of my first ever HYROX. So I hope first of all you found this video helpful, and if you have any questions, let me know. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already doing so. And if you want help looking fit, being fit, getting in shape, staying in shape, and most importantly, just making this a lifestyle. Like, fitness for me has changed my life. Genuinely, I love it. Like, it's a blessing to be able to do this, and to be able to help others make this part of their identity and build it into their lifestyle. If you're able to move, if you have a body, you're an athlete. There's a lot of people out there who are on wheelchairs who unfortunately do not have the ability to do what we're able to do on a daily basis. So do not take on your movement, your body for granted. And if you want help building the lifestyle, that's where we offer Max Lifestyle Fitness with our one-on-one coaching. So you can click the link in our application form to fill out and see if you'd be a good fit for a one-on-one coaching, where we can coach you through your training, your nutrition, your lifestyle, accountability, everything all in one. But that's all for this video. I hope you did enjoy, and we'll catch you in the next one.